Hello, ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice. I'm many voices, but one opinion. And I know I'm wearing a Halloween outfit, and I know it's not Halloween yet, but this is sort of like my early multi-voice Halloween. And for this reason why, believe it or not, today is going to be the new opening for the new Universal theme park called the Dark Universe. And I'm surprised that they were able to do a Dark Universe theme in their Universal theme park. God knows how many times I wanted to go to the Universal theme park, but I never had a chance to go because how expensive it is. And I would love to see the Universal monsters. I freaking love the classic monsters. Every single one of them. I love Dracula, I love Frankenstein, I love the Wolfman, I love the Mummy. And it's just too bad that Universal are not catching much of a break. I mean, everybody knows what happened with the Tom Cruise The Mummy did. And it was a big failure on their part. But of course, in my opinion, at least they did Renfield, even though Nicolas Cage did his Dracula very laughable. But it was a pretty interesting story of Renfield, what they did. Much better than Dracula Untold. And now we have this new Wolfman come out. In this one, it's about a father who has a wife and daughter. And all of a sudden, he gets bitten by a werewolf. And every time when the full moon rises, he's trying not to attack his wife and daughter. Huh. That's a new mix right there. And of course, while I'm on the subject of monsters, I finally watched the animated series of Creature Commando. A little update on that one. They shouldn't have killed Nina! I mean, Nina was one character I feel sorry for. I mean, I feel sorry about her dad for getting killed for trying to get to her. And I feel sorry for her. But it turns out that Cersei the sorceress, who she sells with a she-sword for 60 cents, was right about the princess of that other castle. She would have killed everybody from the DC universe. But of course they left a cliffhanger. I mean, my thoughts of Creature Commando, it's a lot like Suicide Squad, but with monsters. Something stupid that Amanda Water done. But besides that, now we have two new characters who are going to be on the rest of the show. I mean, I knew that they're going to have like a Callus, the Mummy. And I thought, for the vampire character, I thought they should have used either Andrew Bennett or Vincent Velcro. But no, they use Nosferatu. And for those of you who don't know who Nosferatu is, she's another vampire character. She's like a female version of Man-Bat. Except she dresses like an Egyptian queen and has the ability to control bats. So I'm hoping that Season 2 does pretty well. So far, I mean, there were some hiccups on some of the episodes. Like, one thing that bothers me on Creature Commando, why the hell did Dr. Frankenstein sleep with the bride? That was the reason why the Frankenstein monster got so pissed. Because Dr. Frankenstein decided to sleep with his own creation. And that's the reason why the bride hates the Frankenstein monster's guts. Because every time he always keeps going after her, killing any guy that she ends up with, and always kept trying to confess his love for her, which she hates his guts and always keep trying to kill him so many times. Ugh. Maybe if the monster tried to use his head more, he wouldn't be so goddamn stupid, and why she always hates him so much. And that's the only gripe I have on Creature Commando. But I hope that Season 2 turns out pretty good. But anyway, enough about the Creature Commando and the Dark Universe. Let's talk about another studio who made their own classic monster movie, and it came out last year. And the movie I'm going to be talking about is Monster Mash 2024. And this one was created by none other than Asylum Studios. Now, for those of you who don't know, Asylum Studios, it's sort of like a mockbuster ripoff studio. Every time when the big-time Hollywood studio make a blockbusting movie, well, Asylum likes to make rip-off movies just to cash in. Try to sucker people who think they're going to get a big box office success, but turn out to be a blockbuster ripoff. That's what Asylum is. Although this one didn't disappoint. And why does it not disappoint? Well, let me tell you. It all started when there was the Frankenstein monster, which now they called him Boris. And the Frankenstein monster named Boris, played by Eric Selcho Mann, he starts walking about, and he walks into Dracula's daughter's castle. Dracula's daughter, her name is Elisabetta, played by the lovely Emma Ringal. And from the beginning, Boris breaks into her house after she was looking at her music box and told her her familiar that she can go. Boris showed up. She tried to take him down, but he knocks her out and kidnaps her. And he took her all the way to where his father is, Dr. Frankenstein, played by none other than Michael Madsen. At least he's not dancing by playing Stuck in the Middle with You, cutting the ears off a cop. Stuck in the middle with you. Yeah, I still remember Reservoir Dogs. Hell, I reviewed it not too long ago. Well, very long ago. And then Dracula himself discovered that his daughter has been kidnapped, and Dracula is played by none other than Ethan Daniel Corbett. Now, one thing I gotta say about Ethan, he did an outstanding job of Dracula. I mean, he didn't overdo his performance. He didn't become laughable like, he did an outstanding performance, and he even looked the part as Dracula. And, he didn't show any Christopher Lee, even though my thoughts about Christopher Lee playing Dracula, he just uses British accent, no Romanian. But he did show a bit of the Bela Lugosi, which, that was pretty damn good. He would have been a perfect Dracula for Dark Universe. Maybe a lot better than Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, he was laughable, but this guy, out of all the performance of the Dracula films, him, he was perfect. And I loved it. I enjoyed his performance as Dracula. He didn't play Dracula being all evil and sinister. He's the Dracula who's trying to figure out what the hell just happened. And he even trying to figure out who kidnapped his daughter. And he started to interrogate his daughter's familiar, telling her about his daughter. She went all the way to meet a witch. But meanwhile, Boris went all the way to meet the mummy himself, named Ramses, played by Adam Sulman. Now, Adam Sulman, who played the mummy, outstanding makeup work on his face, but his outfit, he's the mummy. He should wear something that is more like Egyptian royalty, not just some long robe. And what Boris did to the mummy, did to Ramsay, he ripped his heart out. And since Dracula sensed that after he interrogated the familiar named Pia, he went all the way. Dracula went into a pub and he meets the witch. Her name is Melina Sovereign, played by the lovely Bix Krieger. Bix Krieger. I mean, Bix Krieger, she's a very lovely actress, and she did an outstanding role playing this witch. And tell him that one of his friends is dead. So Dracula went all the way to found the remain of Ramsay, and he uses the ritual leaves in order to bring him back to life, but it wasn't enough. He needs a heart. So he grabbed a rat, ripped his heart out, and put it on the remain of Ramsay's, but it's not enough. So one thing Dracula did, he brought Ramsay back to life by biting his own hand and let his blood pour into his remains, and now Ramsay comes to life. Meanwhile, Boris showed up, and he's battling against the Invisible Man, named Holly Griffin as the Invisible Man, played by Gabriel Pranter. He played the Invisible Man. So, no Creature the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man involved? And a lot of people say the Invisible Man should be a superhero. But everybody knows the story. In the Invisible Man, a scientist named Griffin drank a potion and made him become invisible, but the chemicals from the potion turns him into a raving lunatic and becomes power hungry. But this Invisible Man, he's more subtle, and he acts more like down to earth, like he knows what's going on. And of course, when Boris went over to find the Invisible Man, he just grabbed a knife and ripped his invisible skin off. And also, Boris bound Elisabetta, Dracula's daughter. So Mila, Dracula, and Ramsay decide to contact somebody who knows what goes on in the spiritual world. So she summoned a dead body of a certain woman named Browning, who always dapple between the reality world and the dead world. And Browning is voiced by none other than one of the most famous scream queens in history, Michelle Brau. She did the voice of Browning, the undead woman, telling him about what Frankenstein is planning, and even told them that Boris went after the Invisible Man. So now, Dracula and Ramsay's, he found the Invisible Man with a lot of... there's not a lot of blood in the episode, but there is one on the table where Boris the monster skinned him. So what Dracula did, he used his blood to help heal up his wounds, and he was a big help. So now it is Dracula, Ramsay, and Griffin, the Invisible Man, together to know what exactly is Dracula up to. And they notice he's trying to find remains of all monsters in order to create an ultimate monster who is an abomination beyond our world. And there's only one person left. Culliffe. Charles Culliffe, the Wolfman, played by none other than Ian Hamill. Now, Ian Hamill, he did a pretty good job as the Wolfman. I mean, his version of the Wolfman have a southern accent, like he's an American southern guy who is cursed by the werewolf curse. And Boris showed up. Now, they all tried to stop Boris, but Boris knocked them all out, and he took down the Wolfman, but he wasn't the Wolfman at first, he was just Charles. And what Boris did, he grabbed an axe, chopped his legs and his arm off. But they were wondering if Dracula can help Charles, but Dracula knows he can't help him because he can help himself. Because Charles's limbs grew back. I mean, I guess that's what happened when you're a werewolf. If you're not being hit by something that is silver, you can heal up. So, this Wolfman has a healing factor. Who would have thunk it? Now, Charles finally becomes a werewolf, and I gotta say the makeup work looked pretty awesome on him as a werewolf. So now Dracula, Ramses, Griffin, and Charlie, they're all going all the way to find Dracula's lab, thanks to Mila's blood, who showed them the way. Meanwhile, Boris, the Frankenstein monster, he starts bonding with Isabella. And I kind of like this bond between the two because they both are undead people, except Boris has a mind of a child. And Isabella, being a vampire, she has sympathy towards him. And even though Frankenstein is like, Boris, don't bond with her, it's an it, it's not a person. But Boris starts liking Isabella and wants to be her friend. But she said that we need to kill Frankenstein, but he's loyal to Frankenstein because he's his father. But she's trying to tell him that her father is way more evil than them. But he wouldn't listen. And of course, going through a bunch of traps and all the tricks they've done. I mean, Frankenstein set up traps for them to get captured, but they pretty much escaped their trap with their ability. At first, they took down Boris with an axe on his chest, but lightning hits him and brought him back to life. So now, Charles see what's going on, he decided to join them. Frankenstein trapped Isabella and now trapped Dracula because there was one thing he wanted from Dracula. Dracula's blood. In order to complete his experiment. Because Frankenstein, he is dying. I mean, he's a normal human being and his body is getting old and weak. So he's trying to find a way to become immortal by taking all the parts from all the monsters to create his ultimate monster. So now Boris joined with them and helped Isabella, and they all got together, and out comes Frankenstein's ultimate experiment. I mean, Isabella stabbed Frankenstein in the chest with a crucifix cross, but his soul was transferred into the ultimate monster. And yeah, I know, it looks cheesy, it looks... their computer special effects is pretty corny. But I respect it the way it is. And of course, Dracula... Boris and Ramses, Griffin, and Charlie the werewolf, they all decided to work together to try to kill that ultimate monster. But Dracula had finally returned, living off the blood of that one woman, some random Dracula victim that he found. And now it becomes a fight between Frankenstein as the ultimate monster against Dracula. Now he tries to fight him as a giant bat. It was good, and of course Boris did help by throwing stones at his father to distract him, but it ain't enough. So now Dracula decided to change into an army of bats and get inside get inside the ultimate monster of Frankenstein. And he burst him out of his chest, killing him instantly. So now, Dracula won. And then at the end, all the monsters are sitting at the bar. A vampire, a Frankenstein monster, and a werewolf walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "Hey, this ain't Halloween yet." I love doing the whole walk into a bar joke. And Dracula finally realized something. They are a lot stronger together than they are apart. So therefore, he decided to reunite all the monsters together, including Boris, which Charlie said, "Come on, big guy, have a swig. It's good." And of course, Boris, he finally sounded like Boris Karloff by saying, "Good." Good. And of course, I could see that there is a certain bond connection between Boris and Isabella. Elisabetta. And of course, thanks to their friend the witch, who brought them all together in the first place. And that's exactly what they said. What is the worst monster of them all? Us, humans. Take a look at the serial killers throughout history. We do ungodly things that we can ever imagine that no monster could never accomplish. Without the use of the fangs to suck blood, or brutal strength to smash people, or claws and teeth to keep mauling on people, or anything like that. But all in all, I gotta say, my final verdict, this was a really good movie, and Asylum, you outdone yourself. You did the most spectacular movie that ever made, and Universal, I hope you be taking notes for this, because you should learn a little something from these guys. But it's not up to me, it's up to my buddies, the classic monsters of mine. Yo, Dracula, what do you think? It feels so good to be back. Excuse me a minute. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Count Dracula is back. And it's been so long since I have returned. And I've been missing out lately. Now, to my opinion. This movie, Monster Mash, I had to say, it is a very good movie they have done. I tip my hat off to Asylum Pictures. And of course, my opinion to Ethan Daniel Corbett. I am very flattered by your performance. You did well. But of course, don't ask me. Ask my other friend. Hey, Adam Frankenstein, what do you think?
Me, Adam Frankenstein. My thought on Monster Mash movie? Good. I know you're thinking, why I not wear pajamas hospital gown? Well, doctors give me lab coat and a good silver shot. Make me look good. Ball is good. Actor play ball is good. Now you Wolfman. What you think, Wolfman?
Ooh, yeah, baby. This here's Jack Wolfman, baby. And I gotta say, that Monster Mash movie, I really dig it, man. Really cool. And of course, I like this actor who played the Wolfman, this Ian fella. I say, this cat's really digging the wolf dig, man. And I give it a big... Oh yeah, baby. Rock and roll. Now, what do you say,
Wolfman, I hope you don't bring him into the mix. I forbid it.
Sorry, Count Daddy-O, but I have to. After all, he is one of us. What do you think, my mummy dude?
Thank you, sir. And I'm not just called Mummy Dude. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Behotep, the mummy from Egypt. In my opinion, as a mummy and Egyptian, this Ramesses fellow, he's okay, but the outfit doesn't even look like he's part of royalty. Now, I dress for the occasion a lot better than he does, but I think that this fella may need a little learning on how to dress properly. A lot better than that, ugly fella from Romania.
All right, Mr. Egyptian Mummy Man. You want a piece of me? Bring it on, Band-Aid Breath.
Okay, Blood Breath, if you want me, go right ahead, but I will curse you with my Egyptian spells.
Gentlemen, please stop this senseless fighting, both of you. You know, it's not often you have all the monsters together, but all of a sudden Dracula and Behotep hate each other, all because they both are undead and have mystical powers. Now, gentlemen, whatever the feud is going on between you two, you need to stop it right now, okay? Promise me that. You two ain't gonna kill each other in my presence. All right, Dracula?
All right, multi-voice. My apologies. I'll behave myself and not fight this wicked old beef jerky Egyptian. Not in your presence, but somewhere else.
Okay, Dracula. What about you, Behotep? Are you gonna behave yourself now?
Okay, multi-voice. I will behave myself. Only for now. Romanian bloodsucker.
You know, that's the thing when you have monsters in your group. Sooner or later, there's going to be a feud with some of them. And Behotep and Dracula, they've been at each other's throats ever since I met them. You know, it's kind of hard to put them under control, you know. But anyway, I'm the multi-voice reviewer. I remember it so I can jog a memory.